Hello everyone, and welcome to another lesson in this Maya series. This lesson I have decided actually to come up with a very simple model to model completely from scratch, and I will not actually model it on top of my head. I will actually try to get some reference images and some blueprints, and then use these blueprints in order to uh, bring the model alive, actually bring the model to be like 3D model it. So actually I picked up a very simple model. Here you go. There's a very simple airplane. Let me just try to fit this into the recording screen here. There we go. So this is like a very simple airplane. Here's the blueprint, which I wanted actually to show you. Now I wanted actually to keep it simple because I wanted to make I wanted just actually to minimize the amount of time which gonna be spent on the video. So you're gonna be focusing on the technique of how I'm getting a certain blueprint like this one, mapping it out like in Photoshop, and then bring it into Maya, and then try to actually start modeling. This is actually Henrik Pursuit 1917 airplane, US, and this model which you see right now, this one, is actually, let me even get probably a bigger screen here. This is the much more realistic model. This is actual 3D model. I didn't make this before, so everything which you're gonna see is gonna happen live actually. But we are not gonna pursue something like a realistic model or very smooth model like this one, because since we are working with games, or working with OpenGL especially, and I don't really require you to make something really high in your project. So we will actually make something like a low polygon model, which you can of course later on your own, if you wanted to, you can actually convert it into high poly model by converting this polygonal surface into a subdivisional surface, and then you can start working on from there. Actually, the model which you see right now in front of you is being sold on the internet, and it's cost like $30. So I mean, we're gonna actually make it right now the low poly version of it. If you wanted to, you can actually start converting into high poly. You can start using it, animating it. Later on, once we finish this, once we finish modeling this plane, I'm gonna show you how to take it out and put it in Maya. In fact, I was put it in OpenGL. I was thinking of animating only this. You can of course export only the wheels later on. So if you wanted actually to make the animation of an airplane is running on the road or something like that, you're gonna have actually to animate this this fin, and you're gonna have to of course to animate the wheels. Now in case that you wanted to animate some certain pieces in OpenGL and you already done some certain models in Maya, you have actually to export it separately in order for you can touch it, because when you export it to OBJ, if you exported the whole object into OBJ, the whole object is actually untouchable. Alright, unless of course you just beginning exporting pieces and then you can touch certain pieces and so on. We're gonna actually get into details later. To be honest with you, I don't know how many videos it's gonna take to finish out this plane. I'm gonna actually try to make it as simple as possible, and I will try my best to minimize the amount of time in the videos so you can get the complete idea what's happening, and you can start working on your own projects, either in Unity or in Unity 3D if you wanted to, or any game engine, or in OpenGL by yourselves. Alright, let's get started. Now let's see, I would love to by the way, these are some other reference images. Actually this one I wanted to capture a little bit of this fin. I wanted to see how it looks like, although it's a little bit similar plane, but it's not. Actually, these by the way, when you are starting modeling something like that, that's actually coming from a real life. or even some fictional stuff that you draw, it's always necessary to go over the internet and try to go to Google Images or Bing Images, whatever, and then try to see images from the real life, how some certain stuff looks like. I mean, for example, you go, if you're gonna model this plane, go over the internet, try to hunt for reference images and so on. Unfortunately, this plane is a little bit rare on the internet in terms of reference images, so we're gonna stuck with those few, but I believe it's gonna be enough. In case that you make some fictional characters, you draw them by yourselves. Let's say you are drawing some certain, I don't know, cartoonish character or some certain monsters. You wanted, for example, to look at how monsters look like in 3D, or probably look at certain animals, how do they look like that have some sort of beastie look. I mean, for example, like iguanas, or for example alligators or something like that, so you can see how do they look like, and then you can start, you know, capturing some of this essence and then put it into your objects. Alright, so in order to prepare our reference images, I mean these blueprints, by the way, I got them from the theblueprint.com, which I already showed you in the introduction. And by the way, I'm expecting you that you already watched the introduction to Maya video series. I mean, including the light lamp project and all those stuff, the street lamp, excuse me, project and all those stuff, because I'm completely relying on your prior knowledge to that. Alright, let's get started. I'll go to Photoshop and I will try to get my reference image here. Sorry again, I wanted just to add something here, one more, for people who saw this. This is actually another reference image. I was planning actually to do this airplane, but to be honest with you, it has some yes, a lot of details and all, but I don't want to extend the time of the project, because we have to model some certain pieces, you know, and take care of them. I mean, go and feel free to model them your own. I will be supporting you over the forum in case that you are stuck in certain model. Please upload the Maya file, and I will be there trying to fix your model and help you out. Alright, let me see here. Okay, I will close this one, and I will close that one, and I will try actually to grab this one. Now you have to understand, I didn't do this at all before, so really this is like everything is happening live, and you're gonna see a lot of mistakes happening, a lot of corrections and so on, so bear with me here. At least you're gonna see how to correct mistakes in case that you fall in one like those. Okay, now unfortunately they don't look like easy actually to capture, but anyway, let's see. I will actually try to cut out the models out of here, so let me try to be careful here. Let me go in backspace. Oops, hold on. I'll try actually to be fast here, like so, like so, and I'll actually go like so. And here's our airplane. Now I'll actually cut this, or Control C this, or cut this. Let's see, Control X, and File New. And when I hit File New, in fact it gives me the exact resolution of the cutted image. So I get actually, so Photoshop is intelligent enough to recognize the image from the clipboard, and then it just creates the width and the height based on that image. So I will hit Control V here, and as you can see, my planes fit. Now be careful, I took actually an extra space here, so it is actually pasting it really correct. Now I'll have to hit the V key and just try to put it right there in the middle. Now actually we have to align them up, but I'm actually trying to cut them into pieces right now. And lasso tool, I will try to get this real quick here, so like so. Control X, Control N, OK, Control V. Alright, going further, taking out this one, so this one is gonna, oops, is gonna be easy. Control X, Control N, OK, and Control V. Now, as you can see here, I got the top view, the front view, and the side view. Now, I have actually to align them up, because when I put them in Maya, I can actually start using it. Now, let me go close this without saving it. File, new, and I will actually make something like 2000 by 2000 just to get some space here to work with, although it is really large, but I wanted to have some space. We'll hit Control A, Control X, and going to my huge image, Control V. I'll hit the V key. Let be here. Control A, Control X, and Control V. There we go. Okay, I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore, hopefully. Let me see. And the layers, yeah. I got them into separate layers already. That's great. Close that. Control A, Control X, and Control V. I'm using here always the keyboard shortcut keys, so bear with me here. No. Let me save this initially to something that I can use. So in the plain reference images folder, I'll keep it just PSD for now. I'll call it the Blueprints. So Blueprints. Oops. Okay. Now let's see. In fact, the top view and the side views has to be, excuse me, the top view and the front view has to be aligning exactly. The side view is actually has to be, of course, the same length as this one. So we're gonna have to do some tricks here in circus, if you will. Now I'll drag this, try to see if it's really match up. Now this is, here comes the layers game, so I have to expand this a little bit and see. Probably I will drag this opacity just a bit, like so I can actually see what I'm doing here. So in fact, the front view is, let me just eliminate snapping here, because as you can see here, I just get snapped like so, and I want to be a little bit more free, if you will. Well, in fact, yes, they are aligned perfectly. They are aligning perfectly. Okay, now this one is aligned. Control click that. Now I have to be really careful, because right now I have to export this into an image, and I have to be completely like on the, you know, like eliminating all this extra space. You see this extra space on the top. So I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna have to try my best to make it as perfect as possible. We're gonna see that in a second, how to do that. And let us see, since they are already aligned, I need just only to know for sure this one is that one. So let me go like so. In fact, it will be here a nice idea to name here top. This one has to be side, and of course this one gonna be front. Hence this one is front. Okay, I will actually rotate this like 90 degrees. I'm holding the shift key, so I'm like transforming to 90 degrees. Hit enter, and I will drag this opacity a little bit down. By the way, usually when you get your blueprints from the internet, most of the time they are actually perfectly aligned, but when I got this, I was like a little bit not that very much satisfied like how it looks like. And as you can see here, like there is a little bit of offset, but of course, since this is a side view, this is not a top view, so I mean the main thing is the length are equal. So as you can see here, let me just position this as, here you go. As you can see here, everything is just perfectly aligned, which is kind of cool. So you see like the cockpit in the front and everything. Okay, that's great. Now this is really good. Now I will hit the shift key to put it back into 90 degrees angle and hit enter. Now the perfect thing to do in order just to make sure that everything is just aligned correctly, I would go and try to see if I can let me see here, take this on the side, control click that one. I wanted actually to try to align them correctly. Now there are a lot of you who could, for example, disagree with me on some certain parts, that you could have a different ideas or different workflow. Please, I mean, by all means, try by yourselves. I mean, this is completely, how can I say, this is what you see right now is completely live. I didn't pre-decide anything, so right now I'm thinking with you on the way, so you can see how stuff could be working with you in real life. So life is not that perfect as you can think of. Okay, I will stop at that line, that will be perfect. And I will drag from here and let me zoom in a bit. You see, sometimes there are some millimetric kind of errors, you know. I would actually select this guy and push him just right there. There you go. And see what's gonna happen on the other side. If on the other side is not perfectly matching, then we can actually try to find something, but I doubt it. Yep. Okay, let me try to take this here. Okay, control click that one. Just a tad. Well, actually these 2 millimeters will not actually matter in terms of the real model when it gets modeled. Okay, let me drag here another guideline. And as you can see here, I got, by the way, I got this ruler from View Rulers or Control R. And I'm dragging guidelines from the ruler, like clicking from the ruler and dragging inwards. So click and drag. In case you wanted to get rid of one, just click it and drag it upwards and you get rid of it completely. Okay, now let me get this one to here. I have really to be careful or exact, just to make my life a lot easier when modeling. Okay, let me control minus this one. And in fact I will leave this plane right here, it doesn't matter, and I will go try to fit it exactly. So I will, because whatever is inside these squares I will cut them exactly, so like so and like so, and of course the last one here. Let's say here at the wheel. Okay, so we are good to go. Now I have to start cutting out my images, so I will turn snapping back on, because it's gonna be a whole lot easier when I select the marquee. I will actually be snapping, you see it snapping right away to my guidelines, so I will make sure that I will cut this appropriately. So I will hit Control C. Let's see. Sorry, I have to be on the front. Right now you could actually merge the layers, but I wouldn't do that, to be honest with you. Control C and new. It will recognize from the clipboard. Control V. Going down. Control D to deselect. M to go for marquee, and then selecting this guy. Control C, again sorry about that, top, Control C, Control N, OK, and Control V, going back here again, and then Control D, M to be on marquee, select, and select this little guy, like so. And Control C finally, when I select it, side, C, Control N, and OK, and Control V. Alright, so we got our three reference images. Control D, I will Control S that, so Control S to save, and so just to keep it in there, just for reference, and now I will hit close. And right now these reference images are ready to be exported. Now it is always recommended that when you are doing such a thing, when you are modeling, you're gonna really discover, let me collapse this, that when you are working quite close, as you can see here, the white is really so harsh on the eyes, so it will be really very disturbing when you are trying to start working on smaller details. Probably not here, you will not feel that here, but probably it will be a very good idea that you start dimming this image. So I will go to image adjustments, I believe it was brightness and contrast. Let me see if it will work out. I will, yeah, well, okay, I have to let me see here. Probably it will be a nice idea to merge the layers and see what's gonna happen. So merge layers. Now let's see what's gonna happen when I go for image adjustments, brightness. Yep, it works out. So try to dim it, I mean not completely so, but try to dim it. Okay, it's up to you anyway. So I mean if you wanted to make it, it's up to you. I mean it's your personal preference. For me, I would be happy with this one at least. So let's see, -60 and 7. Was it? Yes, I believe it was -60 and 7. So I will Control S that. In the reference images, I will just make a small new folder, and I'm gonna call this image planes. And this one is actually the front view, so this is the front. Yeah, I'll keep it all small caps. And it asks me to save in the highest quality, and I will say yes. And here I will merge again the layers just to make sure. There we go. And images adjustments, this was -60 and this was 7, so everything will match up. And Control S, this one was the top view. Oops, hold on a second, probably I went somewhere else. Top view, save, and OK. And this one as well, as we're gonna first merge the layers here. So merge layers, image adjustments, brightness and contrast, -60 and 7. And Control S that to the side view. Alrighty. Okay, now let's see, before I go further, let me try to open that folder again. So I can see here I got image planes for the front, the side, and the top views. Now I have to make sure that the top view is aligned with all those three, but to be honest, I have a little bit, I don't want to think about it right now. I will see what will happen in Maya, and then later on, if it works out in Maya correctly, then we are happy. So back here in Maya, I always love to be organized in terms of working on such projects like these. In case that you are working on your projects, I always encourage you very much to make your own project instead of just making a file, new scene, and then save the scene somewhere, and that's it. So file, project, new. Now when I try to create a new project, this one is gonna be like pursuit. It was like Pursuit 1917, as far as I remember. Where was it? Like, where is it? Here you go. Yes, Henry Pursuit Action 1917. I'll keep it that way. Please try your best not to include any spaces, so keep it like a single string. Okay, in case that you are really wanted for spaces, just put an underscore there, but I really encourage you not to do that. Just keep everything just single line without. And if you can see here, you see how my location goes. I mean, the location goes even without spaces. In fact, Maya actually hates spaces because of I really don't know why, but probably because of the because Maya actually runs on several operating systems, like on Mac and on Linux and on Windows as well, as you can see here. So probably somehow they are some operating systems are quite sensitive to spaces, and rather like not in Windows. So that's why somehow they made a single rule there, so you cannot actually have spaces, or you could have, but you could run into problems later on, which you really don't want to. Now, project locations, the scenes, images, and all those stuff, these are actually folders are going to be created for you. You can name them if you want to, but I will use defaults here. So when I click this, scenes, images, and all these actual folders, they're gonna be actually created for you automatically with these names which I'm selecting here. All right, I will leave it Pursuit 1917, use defaults, and hit accept. Now, once you do that, you have to set your project. So you have to tell Maya, I'm gonna actually work with that project. So file, project, and set. Now you have to understand that when you are working with such projects, sometimes if you wanted to work on another project, let's say, as I can have here, the BMW project which I was working during classes, if you, in case that you wanted to work on the BMW project, let's say, you have to double click it just for safety's sake and hit set. Or in case that you wanted to work with another project, let's say this one which we are working on, so double click it and say set. Okay, this is how to set a certain project. So once you can say file, open, you see you are already on the scenes folder under that project. So Maya is automatically oriented and focused on that project, and Maya will never change it unless you set it to something else. So I will create a complete new scene just for safety, and here's a word of advice. Please do not do this or that or that or even this. This is if you touch that like that, if you touch that like this, fresh new scene, and do not touch anything until you import the reference images of yours. So file, image plane, import image. Oops, sorry, I forgot about copying my images first. So I will come here to my image planes, copy these, going to my documents, and into Maya, projects, the Pursuit project, and I will go for source images, and I will paste everything there. Okay, so in case if you didn't, in case if I went fast, libraries or whatever my documents, or I don't know, whatever operating system you're running on, but the main thing, you get to your documents, Maya, projects, your project, and then the source images, you paste your reference images in there. Now going back, let me minimize this and that one. File, excuse me, not file, view, image plane, import image. And since I'm actually on the top view here, I will use the top. And I got some nice preview here, so I would love to have that one. Next, without touching anything, without doing anything else, file, image plane, import image, and this has to be the front. And probably I'm gonna rotate this for sure. File, image plane, import image, and this is gonna be the side. Yep, for sure, yes. Now as you can see here, I'm gonna definitely have to rotate this top view, and I have to modify this side view in order to accommodate to be exactly fit in here. We'll see that in a second. Now in order to solve this problem, I will select the image plane here, you see this one, and like so. I mean, you go on the tip and just select it, and you see it became green. I'll hit Control A once. Now in case that you got this in the first time, hit Control A again, so to get this one. And I know the user interface is really small here, guys, but bear with me because it's quite difficult to work. I mean, you have to go to the image plane node here, and as you can see here, here's my top image. Now I'm gonna actually have to rotate it 180 degrees. Yes, this one, I believe. So the top view, I have to rotate it like 1, 2. Okay, let's hope that I'm correct here. And open the top view again, and as you can see, I just reloaded the image and I got everything just aligning correctly. So now it is time to fit in this side view, so I will select that one, trying to fit it in. Actually, yeah, good thing at the time on that image plane. Okay, let me collapse this. Okay, great. Okay, so I have to play with the width and the height here. So this one is like, okay, let me just try to see. It's not quite far away. Let's see 25 what's gonna happen. Oh, cool. Yeah, you see that sometimes it happens that you cannot really know for sure. Now let me try to let me see here. Try to push it down a little bit. Now, okay, I have an idea. Let me try to move this first, like into the Z-axis. By the way, I go to the box, click in there, hit the Control key, and click mouse button, left mouse button, and drag. So right now I am trying to see, you know, like I'm sliding it over, and as you can see here, the center is X, Y, and Z. I have to try to see how it lines up. Let me try to push it even on the side a little bit more, so probably in the X-axis. So go more and more, so we have really to be down even more. So let's say I'm gonna be like 22. Ooh, that's too much. 24.7, 24.5, .2. Right now it should be dead on because of the top. Okay, let me see here. Slide into the Z. Yep, almost there. But it doesn't matter. I mean, this could be quite tolerable. Now I will actually put everything here to 0. And no, not that much. Let me see, like 24.5. 24 point. You see, I just wasn't aligned correctly with 25. You know what? I have a better idea. I will actually keep working with the top and the side views and the front view as well. Probably this will be aligned automatically later on once we get into the once we get into these planes. So I'm actually not that quite worried about it. It will be fine, hopefully. All right. Now here comes actually the very important piece of like part actually or step of our work here. Now I personally hate this. I mean, I hate such a view, and I want to be much more comfortable working with the side views like so. So I'm gonna go and select this, push this to -50 down, so it will be somewhere down. Take this, push this to negative Z 50. Oh, where are you? Oh, sorry, this is not, it should be an X. I was made a mistake, sorry about that. There you go. And push this into Z, so this guy is gonna be negative 50. I usually like to push them a little bit away like this, so when I'm trying to put my model, it will not be hidden behind image planes. This is the first thing. A second thing, which is a personal preference, I actually, these guys annoy me when I'm in the perspective, so I'm going to select one image plane and I will say looking through camera. Now when I do this, it will disappear from my perspective view and reappear, and only just appear in here, or in my case here in the front view. I will select this one, looking through camera. I'll just, like do that. Select this one, looking through camera. Now in case that you want it again to show them up, view, image plane. Okay, in my case I don't know why it's not expanding, but it doesn't matter. I will select the camera, and when I select the camera, it will immediately show me the image plane node, and then you can actually say in all views back again, so you'll have this shown back again, but this is in case if you wanted to have it. Now let me even click on this to have the maximized view. Now if you noticed, I got a very interesting show here, like the vertices, edges and faces. This actually shows the number of actual vertices and faces which I have in my scene. You can have them again in display, heads up display, and poly count. Okay, I usually love to have them there because it gives me some sort of statistical view of my model, how large it is. Now please do not try your best to make the number of polygons for your project as small as possible, so your project is going to be working as fast as possible. Alright, this is I mean, the OBJ loader is not a graphics engine, it just only imports the object from there, so there is no graphics engine behind that you can use in order to optimize rendering or something like that. Alright, how about this? Let me stop here. So let me stop here at importing or preparing image planes lesson, and then I will continue modeling, start actually modeling in the next lesson. So let me first here, file, save scene, and I will call this pursuit V1, so version 1, and I will save it as Maya binary, leave everything default, and save it. So as you can see here, everything just saved to V1, and see you in the next lesson.